Hey guys, Angus here. Got another Airsoft video for you guys today. If you can't tell with the wall behind me, today we're going to be doing a chronograph. And that chronograph is going to be of a pretty cool gun. We're going to be chronoing the Tactical Force TF11 CO2 Airsoft BlowBack SMG or submachine gun. What this basically is a little Mac 11. Of course, Tactical Force calls it their TF11. This runs off a CO2. It is BlowBack. If you're interested in purchasing this product, there'll be a link down below in the description to airsoftStation.com where you can buy it for about 80 bucks. It's a pretty good deal for this gun. Now let's go ahead and get some details of the chrono. First off, what we'll be shooting for feet per second, we have some .2s loaded up in our 50 round mag. As for what we're going to be powering the gun off of, we have a fairly fresh CO2 cartridge loaded up in the magazine, ready to go. We're going to chrono this gun not only for feet per second, but also for rate of fire, being that it does fire full auto as well as semi-automatic. One disclaimer, this gun might be shooting a little lower and a little slower than it normally would, being that it is about 35-40 degrees out today, and gas guns tend to be a little bit less operable in cold conditions. But anyway, let's go ahead, chrono the TF11. Alright, so we have the Extra-Tech chronograph set up. Let's see how hard the TF11 is shooting feet per second up first. Again, 0.2 gram BBs. And remember guys, it is rather cold today. 267.6. 250.1. 274. 266. 259.1. 262.1. And 266.1. I'm going to say more so this would average maybe 310, 330 feet per second in warmer conditions. But as you can see, in the colder conditions today, we're getting right around the 260, 250 feet per second area. Let's go ahead and try some full auto with this gun and see how fast it shoots in the colder conditions here. 978 rounds per minute, so certainly the rate of fire is not being affected. Definitely a nice rate of fire there. Let's convert that into rounds per second. And as you can see, that converts roughly into 16.31 rounds per second. Alright, so now for the final conclusion of this chronograph, the first thing I want to emphasize is that the results of this chrono are greatly affected by the temperature around us. It's still winter time, it's February in New Jersey, 35-40 degrees, therefore our results are going to be affected by that temperature as any gas gun would be. Perhaps, if I do hang on to this, which Airsoft Station gave me the option, if I liked it, I could keep it. Perhaps I'll chrono it some other day during the summer and we'll see some real results out of this thing. But today, in the cold weather, when I got to get the video done, we're seeing a feet per second of 260, 270 FPS on average, which is perfectly respectable, especially for a gun that is made to be more so a sidearm, a CQB, or a secondary style weapon. Feet per second, it's perfectly fine. Some of you are complaining, well, it doesn't go anywhere. I'm shooting the gun out there, guys. It's still traveling a fairly far distance of maybe 100, 110 feet. I imagine it'll go a little bit farther when the FPS is up a little bit. I did chrono it indoors yesterday. I was getting a reading of like 310 up to 330 feet per second area with .2s, with .25s. It was shooting in that 270 area. So feet per second, certainly respectable on the gun, especially for being out here in the cold, as opposed to green gas guns where they wouldn't even work. Rate of fire wise, that certainly was not affected by the cold. We're seeing 978 up to 1,000 rounds per minute. I'm going to say this gun will go in the cold, so certainly a nice rate of fire. Converts into about 16.5 rounds per second. So the rate of fire certainly not affected by the cold out here. And this thing is ripping. They got a fast cycle rate just like any Mac 11. TF11 certainly does. So with that being said, guys, this has been Deathcore Airsoft's chronograph of the Tactical Force TF11 CO2 BlowBack Airsoft SMG. Stick around for some slow motion shooting.